Okay, I think I'm ready to start talking now. Um, First off, thank you for pressing play and listening to my video. I've got these pictures here, and I'm gonna kind of like scroll through the pictures as I'm speaking. I may mention something about the pictures, talk about them. Um, I don't know how long I'm gonna even speak or what I'm even going to say right now, but I know I need to say something. and and I know that a lot of us, maybe all of us, um, that understand any glimpse of any truth in the earth, we are all exhausted. and and I know that my, like, when if you look at my email addresses or things that I might have posted or maybe even commented on your own post. If you're watching, I hope you are. Um, that I might say or imply that about my identity being of an heavenly sort. Well, I'm not making this video. Let me change the picture. Not making this video to convince you of who I am or anything. That's not even the point uh, of my message. The purpose of me telling you who I am is so that you can hopefully, like, if you were able to receive that, then maybe you would receive my message, because we're in Lottie Duty land right now and not realizing that we are about to behold Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, this picture right here. I didn't even talk about the first one. I told you I'm not. I don't have anything planned, but this picture right here, to the left, that's a picture of the camp of the tribe of Israel, the way that they would set their camp up when they wandered through the wilderness. And you can compare this to Numbers chapter 2. Um, yeah, we're about to see Jesus Christ, and we are so used to a routine of things that, and there's such a demand on us, isn't it, in this, just to live and breathe every day, all the things that we have to do. Like, those are the powers that are against us. Those are our adversaries. Those are like our oppressors. The reason why we get up and do whatever it is that we do every single day, most of us, the ones that are, when we're trying to keep a roof over our head, maybe we're doing it and we feel comfortable about how we do it, or maybe there's a lot of us that don't. Like, it's really hard, and it's scary to be thinking about, if I don't do this, then I won't eat. Or if I don't do what this guy says or what this woman says or whoever, then I won't have a roof over my head and I won't be shielded from the elements of the earth. And that's how we live, with our livelihood dangling before us like a carrot, like the little carrot dangle, to get us to do like what we're told to do. And a lot of us are tossed a few crumbs here and there. And those of us that are living a lot more comfortably, look at the division that it causes in our families, because we were given some sort of improvement beyond what someone else has to struggle and to do. I think that's like really messed up. And then we're played against one another just because one of us might be a janitor and another person might have become the president of some company or CEO of something, or whatever. Oh, and then there's probably someone thinking, no, I did my hard work and I made my way and established a company and that's because of hard work. Okay, but none of us are above one another. Like the one that established their company, if your company is at a building, then the janitor that you look down upon, you rely on that janitor to come and keep your building running clean. Everything that each of us has to offer has always been important. But let's see. Oh yeah, that's some fresh baked bread right there. I started baking bread because I didn't always bake bread. It was just like within the past year or something. But that was because when I read in the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, I think it's verse 26, 26, 26. Well, let's talk about Leviticus chapter 26. Leviticus chapter 26 is referring to, is describing the blessings and the benefits of the covenant. And so first, Ishi, he describes the blessings of the covenant and says, hey, you keep my commandments and you have it made in the shade with a many glasses of lemonade, right? That your vintage will reach to the threshing and so forth. And that we would have. So we used to thresh our own wheat and grind it into powder and make our own bread. And now, if you look in chapter 26, verse 26, that's part of the curses of the consequences for breaking the precious covenant with Ishi. Because we want to hurt each other or we want to hurt him. That's really what breaking the covenant means. Like we don't like him for nothing, for his goodness, right? So I'm not read quote like quoting word for word what it says. Just you take a look and whatever your version of the Bible that you like. I like King James, but pretty much it's telling us that if we break the covenant, like we're going to go through these series of consequences, and if we still didn't turn back to Ishi, then he was going to um, weaken our hand by by taking away our ability to produce our own bread. Now, it's not worded that way. But when I first read it, it took me some years. I kept looking at that verse like, okay, what's this one? I was getting a lot of verses, an understanding, but that one, it was one of the latter ones. So that's why it was just last year that I began to start baking bread because I said, oh, like when I looked at the verse, I'm like, because it says that 10 women will um, bake your bread in one oven and that your bread will be delivered again to you by weight. Anybody want to take a look at a loaf of bread in their refrigerator if you have one? If you don't eat loaves of bread or use bread, the next time you visit a grocery store, just visit the bread aisle and take a look. Uh, is not the weight described on the package of bread? Is not our bread baked in like these big factories by like a group of people and then it's delivered to us by weight? Exactly like how the scripture says. That lets us know, like when I first read these things, and this was Leviticus chapter 26, that's what showed me that, oh, we're in captivity. But I thought we were free. When I went to school, they told us that we were free. They said we used to be slaves, but now we're free. Uh, Free is free. If we're free, then we are free to obey Ishi's law without any interferences. And we are free to obey Ishi's law, but we're deceived into thinking that if we obey Ishi's law wholeheartedly that we're going to starve to death or something, because there is nothing about the laws of any land on this earth that I'm aware of or know how to get access to where we can just obey Ishi's law without someone attempting to forcefully interfere. I'll show you what I mean. I mean, think about like the Ten Commandments, and let's just test it out. Let's take a week and just keep every one of the Ten Commandments. I'm not even asking you to make a commitment. Ishi has asked you to make that commitment, but I'm not asking that right now myself. I'm just saying like test out this theory, even for like one day at work, and go and don't break any of the commandments. There's one in there that comes up a lot about the Sabbath day. Now, very many people um, recognize that. Well, if anybody recognizes the Ten Commandments, I mean, keeping the Sabbath day, that's what the fourth one. So we read over that, and we might not really take the time to reflect on what it means. I didn't really understand. I understood it, but it became a part of my heart when I actually studied the laws of Moses, as they refer to the Torah. When I actually took it in and reached for my own understanding about what is meant about the Sabbath. And then when I did that, um, I started keeping the Sabbath. I was like, oh, he meant that he wanted us to do that. And the fear came over me at first. But then when I started doing it, then I was comforted. Now a lot of people, there's many people that hear they say, well, I want to keep the Sabbath, but I have to go to work. And if I don't go to work, then I won't have. Well, that's just an example of the things, the stumbling blocks that are in our way. But that's the point about faith, is to know that when we serve Ishi, that he will deliver us from everything that might try to rise up against us. And this is the thing. See, we need to serve him down to the nitty gritty. That's the part that, because at some point, like if we have a breaking point, like, oh, because you didn't have one of these or some of that, then now you break and you go back to serving mammon. But the point was that no matter what, we were supposed to serve Ishi, and that we were supposed to acknowledge him as our provider. That's what we are supposed to do. We were supposed to do, we are supposed to do, and we will continue to be supposed to be doing this forevermore. Um, the faces that you see in the pictures, these are my friends. And I don't know if I'm going to talk about who they are exactly this time. Um, but there are some faces to get used to. Art is not it's not necessarily like my go-to. Well, I have a gift that I'm more deeply engaged in than art, but art does pop up from time to time, has popped up from time to time throughout my life. And right now, I've got some artwork prepared because I've seen things that no one else has seen, and I have friends, and I'm able, and I asked permission. Well, let's see. No, this is not what I asked permission to do. These ones. I have been instructed to draw. I have in the past asked permission to draw certain things, and there might be something loaded up on this on these pictures here that fits that description. But this one in particular, I was instructed um, to draw or in color. Um, I'm not supposed to try to like tell you what the different things mean or why it's drawn a certain way or anything like that. I'm supposed to just let you interpret it yourself, and that can be challenging sometimes. I had to learn to like be quiet about things. Someone said, "Oh, it looks like this," and I said immediately I was like, "Oh no, it's that." And then that's when Ishi said, "No, let him see it how he sees it, and Ishi will show you what he wants you to see. It doesn't matter what I was attempting to draw. I was trying. I had my own thought, but what happens also is that because I'm instructed to draw this, so well, this was instructed to be drawn by the one that is drawn here, and he guided me while I was drawing and coloring. So if it looks any kind of like interesting, that's why. Like when I draw, yeah, maybe I'll show you what it looks like when I just try to draw. I still have some pictures of something like that. I don't even just try to do things anymore because I just wait. I just take my instructions from Ishi as I go through the day. I don't think I want to make this video way too long because then you're gonna look at it and be like, oh, it's an hour. So I'll just start wrapping it up right now because I can make another video or something. I think right now I'm just getting comfortable speaking. And oh, that's what I was saying at first. Like, I'm not gonna try to like convince you about like who I am or anything like that anymore. Like everybody's burnt out from people doing that. I get it. I see what they did. But I am who I am, so I'm only able to speak according to that way. And hopefully like you'll just receive me no matter as long as I'm speaking in love, right? And in kindness and in tenderness of heart. Um it's okay if you disagree with me about what I'm saying. There's just one important message that I have that hopefully you don't disagree with, but if you disagree with it, I'm not going to be upset with you or anything like that. I'm always going to remain kind and sweet before Ishi. But there are three things that you need to know that you need to do when you see Jesus Christ, which we will all be seeing very soon. Very soon. Okay? I know it seems like life has just been going on for all these millenniums and people, live and die and all this and and who knows if you're going to still be standing when he comes. Um, I think those chances are pretty high. I mean, people are dying all the time, so yeah, there's going to be some of us here that aren't here anymore. But I think that's a pretty high chance that you'll be standing here. And even let's say if it's not right, but it would still be a great thing if you would do what is pleasing before Ishi when you hear the voice of his messenger. Oh, I don't know if you're his messenger. That's okay. When you hear someone tell you that they speak in the name of the Lord, in the name of the Most High God, of the Creator of the creator of heaven, the earth, the sea, all that therein is. When you hear someone say that they speak in his name, whatever, however you call to him from your heart, you know who I'm speaking of. When you hear someone say that I come to you with a message from the Most High God, what should you do? What should you do whether you believe them or not? Should you not like go and consult with Ishi, and should you not go in prayer and ask him, or whatever you call it when you talk to him? Should you not have a consultation and say, you know what, like somebody, this woman over here said that she speaks in your name and I'm not sure. In the name of Jesus, let me have a sign, or a confirmation from you directly, so that I'll know if I should listen and hear what she's saying. Right? I mean, those of us that have studied well and extensively, that is a very big um, requirement, is that we hear the messengers of Ishi. Why are there messengers of Ishi? Why are there prophets and prophetesses? Because in Exodus chapter 20, when Ishi gave the commandments, the house of Israel was so afraid that they asked that Moses speak to them instead of Ishi, because if he talks to us anymore, we're gonna die. And Ishi said, you know what, they've spoken well. I wish you hope you always speak this way. Speak well this way. And so Ishi in Deuteronomy explains that, okay, or Moses actually explains by the hand of Ishi, he speaks by the mouth of Ishi, saying to us that, okay, since you asked for a person to be speaking for you to you instead of Ishi because of your fear, and your fear was excellent, you were spot on, you have understanding. Ishi will send you prophets and prophetesses. Well, it says prophets, right? um, so that to deliver his word to you, so that you don't have to stand in terror when he speaks to you. However, we were supposed to listen when someone comes to us and tells us. I know we've are exhausted. There's been so many falsies out there, but to keep ourselves grounded and to make sure that we don't despise true prophesyings. And you know what? The verse doesn't say don't despise true prophesyings. It says despise not prophesyings. It didn't label them whether they be true or false. Because if you love them all and handle them each with care, then you will get to the true prophecies. So handling each with care, consult with Ishi. Every time somebody has ever said to you, I speak in the name of the Lord, we need to be asking for confirmation from Ishi. You don't just, I think this is the one, and then you jump in. And I don't want you to hear me that way either. I would be raising an eyebrow to you if I can just tell you, even whatever truth I have to tell you, because the things that I have to tell you are so powerful that you are going to have to ask Ishi if you should hear me or not. But I hope you do that rather than to get angry and turn away. Now, the three things that you need to do when you see Jesus is: step one, smile. Step two, bow down. Step three, put your face all the way to the ground. When he lets you behold him, this is what you must do so that you live. I say to you, when he lets you behold him, this is what you must do so that you live.